Happy Memorial Day, everybody. I wanted to go over, well, first I wanted to talk about Memorial Day and, why we really should celebrate it and how you should celebrate it. I got this great tweet over the weekend from my student Dan, who works in a lead mill. And he says, thanks to you, I have a way out. My account is up $1,000. He also posted this video. I just have to share this with you, especially on Memorial Day, because this is what, to me, Memorial Day is all about: freedom.
Tim Sykes, thank you. I made $1,000 on my account. Couldn't have done it without you. I will get out of this place. 20 years here is a long time. Just hit 50 years old, ready to move on. Thank you. God bless.
And Dan, you can follow him on Twitter. Dan Deaf Health, it looks like, is his username. But just amazing story of how he's worked in this lead mill for 20 years, and he wants to get out. He's up $1,000 already. He even posted a picture of him. This lead mill does not look all that great. He posted it as a comment. I post these photos to hopefully inspire you to study. And, look at this guy. I mean, he wants to get out. So props to you, Dan. I look at everything that everyone sends me, in case you guys didn't realize that. Emails, tweets, Instagram messages. I'm behind on a lot of stuff, but I look at everything. And I love seeing stories like this, especially on Memorial Day. And, Dan's tweet and some of your other tweets, I mean, you guys are studying. Here's Eric studying, Javier studying on a boat. Here was Lloyd studying, taking some notes, and here's Josh studying and Jacob studying with a view. And this is what, to me, Memorial Day is all about. I thank the armed services so much. I am so grateful for all of your bravery and your sacrifice. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how thankful and grateful I am, and us as a nation should be, for all of your hard work and dedication, and I do what I can to try and, teach, but in no way am I a hero compared to what you guys in the armed services do. I want to try and inspire you and, talk about freedom and show you guys what it takes to actually get freedom. But it's the armed services that, even if you hate war, they allow freedom, and they allow for this kind of backdrop that really is great for stock trading or for following your dreams, or if you're an entrepreneur. So I know a lot of you guys don't take Memorial Day seriously. That's a mistake. Today is a very important day. And as I posted, where were the stats? I was reading an article. It was crazy to me. 1.2 million Americans have died in our armed forces. Here we go. In the past few decades, and these wars. I'm not a fan of war, but I understand the need for armed services to protect our nation. I think that we all should just study and learn, but at the same time, I realize the way the world is, and these 1.2 million people and their families, just really grateful. But here's what I can do. I can teach. And so today's lesson is about TTNP, which got, a nice news release on Thursday night. So basically, this was going to be a play for Friday. And they got FDA approval for, this very positive thing. And the stock opened up big. You can look at a 10-day chart, and you can see the stock closed at 7 and it opened at 8.5, and it finished all the way down. And so many people, I gave a webinar on Friday to challenge students, which I actually posted for all of you guys, and you should be able to watch it, and you should be watching it. It's a 90-minute Q&A webinar. But one of the questions was, why is this happening? Positive FDA news. Why is this stock dropping roughly $2 a share? Because the stock market is not an exact science. Some good news sometimes is already priced in. And I'll give you an example. WATT got FCC approval right in here, and I was buying it at 11-ish, and I actually had to cut losses because it just couldn't hold his gains. And, it's still in the low tens, but this whole spike, this volume spike, the opening, the high up to 1125 could not be held because the FCC approval might have already been priced in and it wasn't exactly, maybe worded the proper way. And then I like to compare that to GSAT because GSAT, while it's faded in the past 10 days, you might remember this was a very solid winner. I was buying it in the 240s. The next day it was hitting 3. I sold a little too soon in the 260s, but this big spike was not on FDA approval, not on FCC approval, but on the rumor of FCC approval. So I want to bring up these 3 examples because the biggest winner out of these 3 actually didn't even get the approval. And in case you're wondering what that sound is in the background, Miley, my little puppy, is chewing on a bone. She likes to chew on her bones right as I do video lessons right next to me. I don't even know if you can hear her. That's her chewing on her bone. Anyways, the biggest winner out of these 3 was the one that didn't even get the approval itself. And this is a very good lesson for you guys because, frankly, I know a lot of you think that, oh, let me just study and, I'll learn what moves stocks and, okay, here's good news. Let me buy and sell before other people realize it. Well, guess what? Just because you study, just because you see the news before somebody else, does not mean that the stock is going to be able to keep spiking or hold spiking. You're going to have to know a little bit more. Why was the rumor better than the actual news event on the other place? Well, perhaps because GSAT, there's been no news on this FCC approval process in 3 years. So it kind of came out of the blue. It had a big run up from 50 cents to 450 here and in 2013, 2014, and nothing since because they haven't gotten FCC approval. So on the rumors that something was actually finally happening after years of nothing, that was big news. And also added to the fact that there were 50 million shares short. It was a Friday afternoon. None of my chat moderators actually liked my trade at 240. I believe in chat, Michael Good, Mark Crook. I'm not sure if it was Tim Grattani, but I saw a whole bunch of people being like, I don't like this buy because it was already up when I bought it. It had already spiked, but I understand the value of a short squeeze, especially on Fridays, especially when the fact is that this is a rumor of FCC approval. So I sold too soon. I didn't want to hold it overnight, frankly. And part of the reason why it spiked up to $3, it actually got up to 3 after hours on Friday also. But the reason why it got up to 3 the next trading day, that Monday, was more rumors that the FCC head was going to move quickly and approve them. So this whole move is up on rumors. And it's really impressive, even now at 227, if somehow I had held for, 2 weeks, I'd be down like 20 cents or like 15 cents a share from my buy. And yet there would have been it actually hit 320 after hours. So there would be $1 a share of upside from my buy and only 15 cents a share of downside. So no matter how you slice it, even now when none of the rumors have come true yet, I'm still watching it. But when you have 15 cents of a share of downside and $1 a share of upside, that's a damn good trade. So I don't want you to necessarily be against buying rumors. I'm not a fan of buying rumors because they're so inexact, but a rumor on a Friday afternoon on a stock with 50 million shorts, guess what? That kind of setup is good and better than actual news on plays like WATT and now on Friday, TTNP. So I don't want you to get the wrong idea that this is an exact science. Too many of you guys do because you're like, the stock market is wrong. They got FDA approval. This is good news. And yet the price action was gradually, down bearish all day long. There was very little attempt to actually bounce and have anything. So even if you have the best news in the world, people might already expect it. And contrarily, you might not have that great earnings. The numbers might not look good in revenues or profits or whatever, and yet the stock will spike So stop looking at press releases so much. Stop looking at rumors and news so much, and focus more on price action and learn about the mechanisms that can drive a stock, like 50 million shares that are short on GSAT, or the fact that no one was talking about FCC approval for, roughly 2 years, versus TTNP, where the days leading up to it, and WATT, the days leading up to the actual news announcements, people were expecting it. So that's today's lesson. It's nothing huge, but the stock market provides us lessons, and it would be good for you to learn them so that you don't lose money. And if you don't lose money, if you actually learn to make money, then you get freedom. And that's what I believe Memorial Day is all about. So have a great Memorial Day, and remember this little lesson, and study up and spend time with your friends and family. And I'll see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Thank you.